That's also one of my favorite things to do. So this is our social media session. It's called Harnessing Your Influence. I'm going to try really hard to speak slowly and clearly because I'm a New Yorker and I have difficulty with that. So if at any point I'm speaking too quickly, just raise your hand and I'll use that as a key to slow it down a little bit. So today we're going to be talking about what it means to be an influencer, both online and offline in our real lives, with a specific focus on how we can, number one, improve our personal and professional social media presences. Number two, use that to increase our brand awareness and sell tours. And three, be seen as cool authorities on travel and in our other respective niches. And also hashtag UAConf20. So who influences you and where are you influenced? All of us are influenced by other people, other things, and all of us influence other people and other things. It's been that way since we were young children. So some of the very first influences in our lives, friends and family, celebrities, if you know your favorite celebrity is wearing a cool outfit and then you want to dress like them, for example. Popular peers, whether when you were in school or even today, that guy sitting in the other row, you're like, oh, they're really cool, I want to know what they're about. The media, we're influenced by things that we see. And where are we influenced? In our workplace environments, at school when we were younger, at home and in public, just based on things that we see out in the world, and online. Lots of influencing is happening online these days because that's where we're spending a lot of our time. This is a gift from Mean Girls. I love that movie. But no, it's an exact example of what I'm talking about. So basically, she's talking about this popular girl at school that wore this weird outfit, but then suddenly, because she was popular, the outfit was cool. This is the influence we're experiencing on day to day. So who then can be an influencer? Anyone with an audience, no matter the size. So you do not have to be a mega celebrity. You can be all of us in this room. And for example, there's me. This is a post that I made on my personal Instagram account. I do not have a whole lot of followers. I did not get a whole lot of likes. I got 57 likes on this photo. Not an influencer by any account. But this post was about an urban adventures tour I had taken in San Francisco. Anne Marie. She was actually my guide, so I'll shout her out when she's here in the next session. So that's just a picture of my cousin that I took with me on the tour. So technically, by the status of influencing, only a handful of people saw this photo. But I talked about how much I love the tour, and then look at this comment that I got from not even a good friend of mine, an acquaintance really that follows me, saying, "Hi Jenny, this is so timely. Jeff and I are taking a trip to San Francisco next weekend. A walking tour sounds great. I like the mission. I'm going to message you." So I basically, by just posting a photo of myself and my cousin on a tour and talking about how much I loved it, I made a sale. I upsold from Instagram, even though I only got 57 likes on the post. So I influenced someone in this moment. So what makes someone a true social media influencer? It's not as simple, as I was saying, as having a whole ton of followers or getting a whole lot of likes on a photo. It's much more nuanced and complex than that. So influencers on social media, their posts should achieve, again, not just racking up the likes. That's superficial, it doesn't matter. These posts should educate and inspire their audiences to think about, research, and then hopefully, in our case, purchase the topic or the product that they're featuring, okay? And this is done by cultivating a brand. Cultivating meaning developing or creating, really like getting a firm brand identity in order, and by sharing high quality visual content. Where most people are visual people. Social media is a very visual medium, and thoughtful commentary in our own voice. So whether you are as an individual, this is on your personal accounts, what's your voice? What's the way that you speak naturally to your friends and your family, the way you speak on tours and deliver that information? It should sound authentic. That's how you should be writing on social media as well. Or if you're managing a brand account, say your UAP's account, another company's account, developing a voice where all of the posts kind of sound the same. It sounds like, again, the way that you give tours and deliver information, carry that voice onto social media so your guests can recognize it. So, thought experiment here. I want to hear about what you guys as individuals are using social media for in your personal lives. There are a lot of different things and reasons why people go on social media. One is to keep in touch with friends and family. Facebook is great for that. Who needs to write postcards anymore, right? Share who you are and what you're about, things you're passionate about, to connect with other people that are passionate about those things. To be creative, if you are a visual person and you like taking photos, for example, to kind of share that art form with your friends. To get attention, maybe you took a bomb-ass selfie, you look really good, you wanna, get a little bit of an ego boost, hey, that's normal. And all of the above. I mean, I definitely use social media for all of these things. I think maybe a lot of you guys do too. And so your answers, as well as your age and your ideal audience, are going to determine which social media platform is best for you. Because there are a lot of different platforms, and not everyone is on every single platform. And depending on who you're trying to reach and who you are, again, being authentic to your voice and to your brand, you're going to have more success on different platforms. And so how will these concepts translate into business goals? So talking about urban adventures. So if we're managing a UAP's account. So the concept of keeping in touch with friends and family, how that translates to UA, is we can keep in touch with our past, present, and prospective guests. A way for us to, we've brought them into the UA family, once they've been on a tour. We ideally want them to go on more tours in our destination, in our sister destinations. And so this is a really great way to keep that connection alive and to stay in touch and really encourage them to continue working with us. Share who you are and what you're about. We're sharing our products, our team, and our values. They're getting to know us a little bit better as a company. Maybe they didn't realize from the one tour they went on that we really care a lot about sustainability. If you're posting about that, that's a way for them to really get a better look at who we are. To be creative. Social media is a really great way for people to be inspired by things. So if people, a lot of people love to travel, of course, we all love to travel, and people go on social media to help plan their trips, get inspiration for future trips, and we ideally want to inspire them to come to our destination and come on our tours. And so that's a really great way to do that. And to get attention, we want attention, brand awareness and recognition. We want people to know who Urban Adventures are, and not just find us on TripAdvisor or Airbnb and not even realize that we're our own brand. So the more of a presence we have online, the more people will know us as an individual brand. And so I put this GIF in there because there are a lot of people in our company, maybe or maybe not in this room, that I've heard them say like, oh, I don't really see the value in social media, or like, I don't understand it, I don't have time for that. And like, okay, fair, like we're all busy, and certainly it is its own animal that there's a learning curve to adjust to it. But these are all very, very valuable results and resources that we have at our disposal. And so if you haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about social media yet, I hope you'll reconsider. So this is a chart that I just made quickly. It's not super scientific, but it's based mostly on trends that I've seen in my personal social media usage. I'm sure it varies by different parts of the world. And it's non-conclusive, where all sorts of people of all sorts of age ranges use all sorts of platforms. But in general, I kind of put this together to show, based on general age demographics, which social media platforms are most often used. So we have 4 main generations ruling the world right now. We have the baby boomers, who are 55 and older, Generation X, 40 to 54, millennials or Gen Y, which is about 25 to 39, and Gen Z, which is below 24. So right off the bat, Gen Z is not our target audience as a company. Do people under 24 book our tours? Yes, absolutely. Are they anywhere close to booking tours in numbers as all the other generations? No. And so in terms of what social media platforms we're, as a global company, are focusing on, and what we recommend you as individual companies focus on, kind of the ones that are more primarily Gen Z, not necessarily the best use of our time at this moment. If you come to me and say, yo, I'm obsessed with TikTok, we need to get on TikTok, power to you. I will tell you all my opinions on TikTok and help you get it started. Is UAG on TikTok? No, because I don't really care about, we're not selling tours to teens. It's just not happening. This may change in the future. I was talking to Shelly about this morning of, maybe in a couple months it's going to have a huge boom and it's going to be suddenly all 40-somethings on TikTok. I mean, I don't expect that to happen, but if it happens, then okay, then we're going to get on TikTok. But, we're kind of watching to see how it happens. We do, and we're not on Snapchat either for the same reason. We do have accounts, UAG, on all these other platforms. I put email on there because I think about the way that we share on social media, and I think of like my grandfather, and he like emails me memes, and it's cute, but it's like that's an older boomer thing. So out of all of these, my grandfather's a lot older than you, I guarantee it. He is old. I love him, he's great. Anyway, and so out of all of these platforms, it might be overwhelming. You're like, oh my gosh, do I need to be on all of these? Well, again, if you want to be, great. The more time and energy you can invest in this, the better. But realistically, it's best to focus on the two platforms that will probably deliver the best results, which are Facebook and Instagram. So those are the platforms that, as a global company, we focus most heavily on, and what we encourage you guys to focus most heavily on, based on both the target audience we're looking to reach, and also the reason why people use these platforms. It's easier to really talk about and sell our tours on these platforms than some of the other social media outlets. So we're going to talk about how to harness our. Okay, yes.
I'm sorry. Can you go back to that previous screen?
Yes.
Is where they're placed on there because of where they fall in line with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you see the I kind of made this up, and every there are members of every generation on every platform. So this is not like a conclusive thing. I'm just saying in terms of trends I've seen.
Maybe the most used platform.
Right, but
Yeah.
I'm saying Facebook is further this way because older people tend to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure.
I'm a millennial. I don't use Facebook really
Okay,
anymore.
I just wanted to know. That's how I interpreted it. I just wanted to make sure.
Sure. Yeah. No. Facebook's been taken over by the more mature audience. Love you guys. Love them. Okay. Cool. So we're going to talk about how then to harness our influence on Facebook and on Instagram. That's what we're going to focus on. And so Facebook, we're mostly just going to talk about it from a business perspective because I don't know if anyone's trying to be a Facebook influencer. Not really a thing. But for Instagram, we'll talk about both business and personal. So harnessing your influence on Facebook as a UAP, so your UAP's Facebook account. So we're going to talk about the things that you should be sharing on your Facebook page, and really just think about what you see on your own individual Facebook timelines, what your friends and family are sharing. Those are the sorts of content you should be mirroring and sharing on your business page as well. So that includes photos of real people, so guests that come on your tour, and also the guides that you employ, or that you are, because people just want to see them. People want to see themselves. They want to see people that they know. In New York City, we take a group photo on every tour, and then we upload it to our Facebook page, and then we email the link to all the attendees in the follow-up email, and we say, oh, here's the photo we posted on Facebook. You can tag yourself, you can share it to your own page. It's really encouraging engagement, and it's fun because then, especially with some of the older folks that like to share photos just every 5 minutes on Facebook, great, and then they're sharing it to their page. All their friends and family are then seeing that they were on an Urban Adventures tour, which is really cool. Share links. So if there are articles that are written about your tours, if you want more articles written about your tours, let me know. Let's talk about that later. That's great to share. Links to tours, especially if you have a cool pop-up tour coming up or something's really timely. kind of sharing that direct link, hoping to get a booking. Links do well on Facebook more so than other platforms. Videos as well, especially if they autoplay. You know, how many times have you been scrolling through Facebook and you just stopped mindlessly at a video that was autoplaying and then you watch the whole thing? That should be videos of our tours. News updates. So whether, you know, it's things that people should be aware of, if it's concerning, like the coronavirus, how that's affecting your destination, or if it's exciting, say there's a huge parade happening in town. People, you know, check Facebook more than other social media platforms for news. So news updates and memes do really well on Facebook. Again, thinking about what you're seeing on your own timeline and sharing. And so it should be relevant. It shouldn't be just like, you know, a strange meme that doesn't make sense. But if it's something about your destination or about tour guides or something funny and you see it, share it, why not? And then how to engage with people on Facebook. Any comment or review that you get, you should reply to. I really can't stress that enough. You know, we're asking people all the time to leave us reviews, to interact with us. And then they take the time to log online, to leave a review, and then we don't respond. Like, what's the incentive? You know, people want to feel heard. They're spending their time to say something nice about us. Let's say thank you. Let's engage with them back. So anyone that comments on a post you leave on Facebook, if they leave a review on your Facebook page, reply back, say thanks so much. Try and make it a little personal too. And you should also engage with your local business partners by tagging them in posts. So say, you know, you are on a tour and you're going to a coffee shop and you're sharing information or a photo about the coffee shop. If the coffee shop has a Facebook page, tag them in that post. That way, the coffee shop will see your posts. They'll be like, oh, cool, they're promoting us. Maybe they would then promote us in return, you know, a partnership there. It's also a cool way if people on the tour really liked that coffee shop, they can connect with them, the local partners, directly, you know, giving back to the community in another way, giving visibility to our local partners, which is really cool. So here's a couple examples of posts that I've made on the UAG Facebook recently. So this is a video that we just posted. Again, videos do really well. And you can see I tagged, it was a New York Times tour, and so I tagged the Times Journeys Facebook page in the caption. So that way, New York Times Journeys got a notification that we were posting about them, which makes them very happy to kind of make sure our partnership stays strong. And usually whenever I tag them in posts, they often comment on the post and say something nice, which is more visibility because they have a great audience. And then I also, it was a tour in Bangkok, I then tagged the Bangkok's local page, you know, again, trying to just drive traffic to each other, to our friends and family. And then I put a link to the tour in case people wanted to book it. So drawing their interest in with the video, but then also just kind of dropping in that link, you know, in case anyone wants to purchase. This is kind of a lot to look at, but on the left, this was a post just about like the Athens conference. The post itself isn't as important as the replies. So if you'll see over here, it was just like, oh, great conference, great company that we're part of, blah, blah, blah. And then I wrote, have you had an amazing guide on one of your tours? Like, let us know. And then, so I encouraged people to engage with us. And then we got some awesome replies from members of our audience saying, like, yes, I had 2 great tours in Vietnam. These were our guides, they were amazing. Someone else saying, I've been on Urban Adventures tours all over the world, love the product. These are great reviews that we now have additionally on our page. And so then what's important, again, is responding to that. Like that, those are the best comments, you need to respond. So I wrote back, I tagged the person directly to make sure that they would see it, get that notification. I tagged their account. Thanks, Sarah. So glad you enjoyed the tours with @Urban Adventures Vietnam, tagging that local page. Yes?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So in your response, like I'm looking at Eric's response.
Yes.
And he's saying we don't have anything in Colombia. So now with Sebastian here, we
Yes.
need to hope to have something in Colombia
Yes.
starting. How do you go back and close that circle so it's just not a dead end?
I would, if Bogota becomes a UAP, I would love to have them reply to Eric directly and saying, "Hi, by the way,
Right, but
we're in Bogota now."
My question is, how do you track that? So Eric's response just doesn't get lost, and then Eric goes to Columbia and says, "Oh, but they do have something," and they never
Right.
responded to me.
Well, we're having this conversation now, so it's not going to get lost. In general, I mean, I have a very creepy, intense memory for everything that we've ever posted on the UAG accounts, and so that's something that I would just remember because I'm the one that controls these. And so if it's something that within your personal page, yeah, if there's something like that, like someone says, "Oh, I wish there was a tour of the financial district in your city," and you didn't have one at the time, but then in the future you do. Maybe if you don't want to, if you want to take that suggestion to heart, I mean, you could even reply back, "Thanks for letting me know you're interested in that. We're going to look into the possibility." Maybe making a note, and then if in the future that happens, then reaching back out to them. Yes.
Jenny, if you could address on the very rare times when a negative review comes in,
Sure.
just to address how to respond to them, because you don't want to respond negatively
No.
to them ever.
I always say, thanks so much for reaching out and letting us know. You know, I'm really sorry that the experience didn't live up to your expectations. Please send us a message with more details so we can look into this further, period. I always ask for them to send a private message because I do not want a thread with any negativity on our public facing page. So you say, "Thank you, sorry, message me," and then taking it off the public facing site. But you should always respond to negative messages. Not responding makes it seem like you don't care about their opinion. It makes it seem like you're inauthentic, like you're only promoting positive responses. So you should always, I mean, if someone's harassing you and cursing and being like, and threaten, no, then you should block and delete them and their comment. But if it's simply a, you know, "Oh, I don't recommend this tour, I didn't enjoy the experience," then thank them, apologize, tell them to message you. Okay, so harnessing influence on Instagram as a UAP or as an individual. So the buzzwords from before really come into play here, and that is high quality visual content and thoughtful commentary in your own voice. It's not enough to have good pictures. It's not enough to have interesting things to say. You really need both if you're going to have the best chance for success. The pictures are the first thing because on Instagram, people are just scrolling by and they stop and pause when something grabs their attention visually. So the picture, so having a whether it's a photo, a video, whatever else you're sharing, that is the first thing people are going to notice, and so you're going to catch their attention with that. But that said, if you don't have a caption at all, or if the caption is, you know, not that interesting, or is just like one sentence, then maybe they'll like the photo because it's pretty, but they're not really learning much about you or about the company. They're not probably going to comment or care or engage or remember the post. And so you have to catch their attention with the imagery and then keep their attention with the commentary. It's also important on Instagram to know the difference between an Instagram post and an Instagram story. So there are two different ways to post to Instagram. Does anyone here not know the difference between a post and a story? Okay. Hi, Bob. So I have a slide on my next slide. We can break it down a little bit further. But there are basically two different ways to post to Instagram. And making time to post to them both is good because they serve different purposes, and consistency is key. Something that I was just talking about briefly last week on the Latin America call is making sure you're posting consistently on your social media. And that doesn't need to mean every single day. It doesn't even need to mean every single week. Just somewhat consistently. So, for example, if you have 5 images that you know you want to share, but that's all you have, and that's all you're going to have for the foreseeable future, post 1 a week for 5 weeks. That's better than posting 1 a day for 5 days and then not posting anything for a month, because then it's going to seem like your account is inactive. So kind of figuring out, based on how much time you have in your personal schedule, how much time you can devote to put, and this is both for your personal page too, as well as a business page. Trying to figure out, based on what assets you have and what time you have, how to spread that out in a consistent way. Other cool tips and tools are using relevant hashtags and geotags. We'll talk about that in a second. And then tagging other accounts, kind of like we were talking about on Facebook. Just further engaging with people, whether they're your tour guides. That's super fun to tag tour guides in photos. I'm sure no tour guides would be mad about additional followers. Tag your tour guides, tag your local business partners, tag your guests. If you're reposting a photo that someone else shared, if they were guests on your tour, making sure you give them photo credit, tagging them. Tag all of the people. The more people, don't tag random people, that's weird. But like anyone that's relevant, tag them, and then that's more people that are gonna see your post and are gonna engage with you. And again, responding to everything. Always respond to everything. It's a missed opportunity, if not. And then encouraging others to share their photos and to tag you in it. A huge percentage, mass majority of the content we share on UAG's Instagram account is user-generated content. What that means is that we didn't take the pictures. They are not our tour photos. They are not our photographers. They were guests that went on our tours, took really cool photos, and were reposting them. So the way that people do that is it's helpful if we encourage them to do it and to tag us in the photos, so then we actually know that they posted, and we can see them and share them ourselves. Okay, so a very quick breakdown, and Bob, you and I can have a conversation about this later to go more in depth, but kind of everything you need to know about Instagram. So this is our username, our bio. So if you ever see a reference to link in the bio, and you're like, what does that mean? That's this link right here. Instagram does not let you link in captions or comments. So anytime you guys copy and paste a link into your caption or your comment or your Instagram story, and I see a lot of you doing this a lot of times, it's a dead link, it doesn't work. The only link Instagram allows is the link in the bio. So if you either need to just change that link every time you want to direct someone to a new web page, or what I do is I have this master link that then you click that and it offers links to all the different pages in order that I've referenced them. And there's a lot of free tools that you can use to do this. So if you want recommendations, ask me about it. Instagram stories. So basically the quick breakdown, Instagram posts are these big ones and they live on your page permanently. Instagram stories only live for 24 hours. If you want to view them, you click the little logo up here. And then after 24 hours, they go away, unless you've decided to save them to your story highlights. And that's what these bubbles up here are. So that's kind of basic breakdown of what the Instagram profile looks like. And then here's an example of a post I want to share with you guys. And I chose one I recently did of Mexico City because, woo! So not that I think that I'm like the best ever, but I do have this job for a reason. So I'm going to talk about what I chose to do in this post and why I think it works really well. So does anyone know what this is a picture of?
Of course.
Thanks, Mexico City guys.
Chocolate ice cream.
This is mole. But you know what? Did anyone not know what this is a picture of initially? Any non-Mexicans? Okay, I didn't know what it was when I first saw it. I mean, I read the caption and then immediately figured it out. But I don't have markets with mole in New York City. So, and you have to think about who's your audience? Who are your guests? You know, you're probably going to have some locals, so you shouldn't, talk down super dumb. You don't want to alienate people that do recognize this. But at the same time, you shouldn't over-assume, the local knowledge that you have innately. You shouldn't assume that your guests or your audience would know this. And so I started off immediately making a funny pun because, again, trying to grab people's attention to make sure they keep reading, and also kind of letting them know right off the bat what it is. So I wrote "Hole Mole" and a little Mexican emoji because that's fun. And I said, this is not chocolate ice cream, because that's what it looks like to us gringos, I don't know. This is not chocolate ice cream. Hashtag locals know, which it's on all of your t-shirts. You should be hashtagging locals know. Locals know we're looking at mole Mexico's traditional marinade and sauce. And then I Googled this. I read multiple articles about mole, so I was not spreading incorrect information. Mexicans, feel free to fact check me anyway. But so I wrote about what it was. I even put in a little Spanish phrase to try and feel cute and authentic. And then I continued on, and then I added some more facts. I'm like, well, not only is mole interesting, but it's really a special part of Mexico City's culture in particular. And oh my goodness, the markets and street tour with at Mexico City Urban Adventures, again, tagging the UAP is where you're gonna find the best mole. Click the link in our bio to book this tour. And then I put the photo credit. So this was a photo taken by one of the guests on the markets tour here in Mexico City. She tagged us in it. It was a great photo. I liked it. I commented on it. I'm sure I tagged Mexico City in my initial comment. And then I decided to repost it. If you're going to repost a photo that is not yours, you have to photo credit. It's the law. It is a law. Will you get busted and fined and arrested? Probably not, because none of us are major, well, Urban Adventures would. I've had 2 copyright issues on Instagram this year where I reposted from a UAP who's not in the Americas, and they had not initially photo credited, so I thought it was their original image, and it was not. And then I had to deal with copyright infringement. So always photo credit, always photo credit. It's literally the law, you have to. And also it's a fun way to, again, engage the people that are part of our family, that are going on our tours and are taking the time to post about us and leave a review. So photo via at Authentic Food Quest is the name of the account. What I did next is I put hashtags in the comments and I tagged accounts in the photo. So if you look at, I personally put hashtags in the comments rather than in the caption. I think it looks less cluttered that way. It's a more attractive way of doing that. We can talk more about that later. And so I have a bunch of just generic hashtags because I'm busy and I don't care. They're just generic travel, street food hashtags. But then I was like, okay, but it's in I made sure to put in some Mexico City hashtags. Hashtag Mexican food, hashtag Mexican food lover. I'm just making these up, but I'm looking for hashtags that have, lots of photos associated with it. What hashtags do is if people are searching for, so say they're searching hashtag Mexican food, they want some foodie inspiration. Because we tagged that, this photo will come up under hashtag Mexican food.
Sorry.
Yes.
Do you have to invent the hashtags? They already exist?
You can invent, you can hashtag Jenny is the best Urban Adventures employee, and then that would be an active hashtag with one post. But a lot of hashtags already exist. And so what I do when I'm typing them in, so for example, I knew I wanted some Mexico City hashtags. I typed in Mexico City, and then a bunch started auto-filling, and it shows you how many photos have been tagged with this. So it might say hashtag Mexico City little emoji maybe had 50,000 people have used that hashtag before, and now we're going to be 50,001 person that's used it. Yes.
It is like when you're doing a search on Google.
Yeah, and how it starts autofilling. So those are the hashtags, and then the tags. They're different things, and so is a geotag. Lots of tags. Tag your it. So tagging in the photo, you can see. Over here, I tagged the account where the photo came from. That's, again, a secondary photo credit. Let's cover our bases. And it also makes the guest happy because we're sharing her work and giving her credit. So I tagged the account. Over here, I tagged Mexico City Urban Adventures because I want them to see it and I want it to come up on their account. And then I also tagged some local tourism accounts. So Mexico City official Instagram and Visit Mexico. And again, that's why am I doing that? Because if people are then looking at the Visit Mexico Instagram account for photo inspiration, planning their trip, our photo is going to show up in the tagged photos section for the Visit Mexico account. Let me go back really quick. So if you see over here, if you guys can all see that, so posts, those are the posts that live on our page. And then over here, if you see tagged, so anyone that tags us in a post, if they click, if you click or anyone clicks that button tagged, you're going to see then all the pictures that we've been tagged in. So if you have a guest on your tour, and again, you encourage them, oh, take a photo, tag us in the photo, and they do, their photo will live on our profile under the tagged section. And similarly, our photo will live on the Visit Mexico page and under their tagged section. So do all the tagging. And then the last thing, and also geotagging up here. I tagged the market location, if you guys can see that. So that's an option for all of our photos. You can tag the location. Typically for UAG, I end up just tagging the city. Like if I post a photo from the conference, I might just say Mexico City, Mexico, so it's easier. But you guys, you're local, you know the names of the exact places you're going to. Like if, again, using a coffee shop for a reference, have the geotag be the coffee shop's name, and then tag the coffee shop too in the photo, tag them in the caption, do all the tagging. All the tagging is very good.
It's incorrect, by the way.
Yeah, by the way,
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, Mercado Jamaica.
Okay, so I think that's what the person that posted the photo had tagged, but we can change
But
that.
The point is,
Well, no, guys, gotta fact check me, keep me on my toes. You know what? If the person who was running the Mexico City Instagram account had responded to this post that I put up of you guys and tagged you in multiple times and let me know it was incorrect, I would have changed it in real time. So, not to shade anyone, but this is why. But hey, I'm one woman. I do the best that I can. I don't live here. I don't know which market is correct. And so I go out of my way to tag y'all in everything that I post always. And that's another reason why it's important to have active accounts, because if I get something wrong, let me know and I'll fix it. We don't want to give misinformation to anyone, okay? And then the last part of this I wanted to share is, again, an example of responding to the comments. So the person that took the photo, who we tagged so many times, they were thrilled and they wrote, fantastic experience. Again, wow, another positive review of our tours. Yes. But what am I going to do? I'm going to, of course, respond to it. And so I wanted to further engage them. I wanted to get more comments on this photo. I wanted to hear, why was it a fantastic experience? And so I asked them, oh, which one was your favorite? And then we had a whole little nice conversation. Anyone reading this, I think, would be pretty excited to try some mole at the market, you know? So responding is really important. Okay, time to get outside and walk around and get out of the stuffy conference room. Are you guys ready? So we are going to practice creating content for social media. So Rodrigo has generously created a hyper mini walking tour for us of the Zona Rosa neighborhood, and so we're going to walk around. And I want this to be with the intention of everyone of how can we take what we're seeing, take the information we're hearing, and use that for social. So what social platform you want to use that for is up to you and up to your experience. If you're like, I'm down to make some Instagram stories and post the hell out of this tour in real time, power to you, would love to talk about that. If you want to focus on maybe just getting 1 or 2 nice photos, then let's do that too. So just to prep you, so you're ready to know what to expect, we're gonna go to a taqueria, we're gonna go see a monument, and then we're gonna go see a park. A nice little quick 30-minute walking experience. So get ready to take pictures, take videos of anything you think is photogenic. We'll also point some things out for you. So if you're like, I don't even know what that means, that's what we're here for. So we're here to show you and to help. And also, Rodrigo's going to be giving us some #LocalsKnow insider information, as a good tour guide does. So take note, either in your head or write down if any fun facts that he says that might make for a good Instagram caption, for example. Because again, we have to think of something interesting to say with the images we're posting. Does this sound good?
Yeah.
Yes, Dick.
Should we leave things here?
Yeah,
We're coming back to the hotel, but we're gonna go down to the lower level because the other session needs the equipment. Okay, and also don't forget to tag. Again, we're obsessed with tagging. So hey, you should tag Urban Adventures. Also, if you're not following Urban Adventures on Instagram, I have beef with you. Please follow us now. So tag Urban Adventures. Tag Mexico City Urban Adventures. Hey, if you want to tag me and Rodrigo, those are our accounts. And most importantly, #UAConf20.
Yep.
Great. So yeah, get your things or put them to the back and let's go.
Yep.